My next guest defines herself as a religious leader, attorney, poet. She's the executive director of Network. It's a national Catholic social justice lobby, but she's probably best known for organizing Nuns on the Bus. For those of you who don't know the group, they put out a little explanation video last year with a little bit of a twist.
Yeah, it's that network bus. The nuns are standing tall to get that justice out. A Catholic social call. We've got conviction, so Washington take notes. We the people care, so we the people vote.
Joining me now is Sister Simone Campbell. Sister, it's great to see you again.
Oh, great to be with you, Jim.
Now, you're smiling now. I'm sure you're really smiling when you found out the Vatican was ending its investigation and leadership conference of women religious, of which you were a leader, for your alleged liberal orthodoxy and abandoning the church teachings. The Pope, I know you credit the Pope to a great degree for this. He's talking the talk about getting more women involved. Is he walking the walk, though?
Well, I think what we have to do is see what the Pope is doing as not changing doctrine, but as making a space for conversation. And what's really important is he says that realities are more important than theories, and that in order to make peace, you can't defend your turf, you have to dialogue. And that's exactly what he's doing.
Speaking of room for conversation, he's here in September, right? Is there going to be room for conversation or no?
Well, I don't know if I get to meet him. I hope so. But we're using the opportunity to lift up the key issues of economic struggles in our society, as well as the environmental issues.
You're spending a lot of time in Washington working on things like the Earned Income Tax Credit, which, by the way, is a major focus of Beacon Hill here in Massachusetts. Tax relief for low and moderate income working families. Who's against this?
Well, no one's actually going to say they're against it, but what happens is they say, oh, well, we can't afford it. We can't go make it permanent. And what it really is a partisan determination that they can't give any Democrats a win. And so the Republicans say, well, we just can't vote for it now.
You know, let's talk about a few other things that are local. I mentioned the Earned Income Tax Credit is, Jahar Tsarnaev was sentenced to death. Catholics have been amongst the leaders campaigning against the death penalty, but have they done enough?
Well, the fact that we still have the death penalty, obviously we haven't done enough. What we have to do is really promote the dignity of all people. And why would the state kill in my name? That is wrong. From my perspective, I can understand the anger, the hurt, the reality, but the fact is killing someone does not bring anyone back.
Well, those 12 jurors, I assume, would say to you, I hear you, sister, but I saw him standing behind a little boy. He knew what he was doing. He stood there for minutes, and he decided to kill that little boy and kill others. So in general, I agree with you, but this is the exception to that moral rule. But
even the boy's parents said, please don't do this, not in our son's name. And that's the piece. We are bigger than this. We're a community of mercy and justice.
Let's talk about one other local thing. I'm not sure you even know about this, but I'm sure you can talk about it. For 11 years, 24/7, parishioners in Scituate and St. Francis Cabrini have, I don't know if they use the word occupied, conducted a vigil in their church 24/7 for 11 years. Tomorrow is the day the judge says they have to get out or they will be evicted. Their contention is the archdiocese wrongly took away their church. They're willing to buy it. They want it restored to them. What kind of advice do you give to people who, one might argue, are the best Catholics at a time when the Catholic Church, at least in this country, is worried about bringing more people into the pews rather than fewer? What do you say to people like that?
I say engage in dialogue. Do what Pope Francis is doing, what we just talked about. Dialogue. Defending turf, maybe, but making sure that community is nourished. Church is not a building. It's the people. Nourish the people.
Well, what would you say? Cardinal O'Malley won't even come to the church to meet with him. How does that get reconciled with your worldview?
Well, I think maybe they need to go to Cardinal O'Malley and say, you're a friend of the Pope. Won't you at least talk to us?
Would you leave
please?
Tomorrow?
Would I leave the church?
If you were one of the people who'd been there 11 years, the marshal comes tomorrow, would you leave?
Probably not. I'm stubborn. but what I would do is to call on my cell phone down to the Chancery and say, please, can't we talk to the Cardinal? We want to engage this.
If you're not
Let's
busy
make
tomorrow,
something happen.
They could probably use a friend. Sister Simone, gay marriage. We all remember that moment on a plane when the Pope said, "Who am I to judge them if they're seeking the Lord in good faith?" And then an amazing thing, after the people of Ireland, obviously a very Catholic nation, vote overwhelmingly to change their constitution for gay marriage, the Archbishop of Dublin speaks beautifully. "I appreciate how gay and lesbian men and women feel in this day. They feel this is something that is enriching the way they live. I think it's a social revolution." But the spokesperson for Pope Francis says it's not a defeat for Christian principles. It was a defeat for humanity. How do you reconcile those things?
Vatican politics. You have to know that in Rome is the same dynamic that goes on in Washington, D.C., and there's a big struggle right now for who controls the message. It appears that one group controlled that for Pope Francis, but another is there.
What gets you down, Sister Simone? I've met you twice. You are so full of life and positive energy. It is almost frightening.
Oh, I don't mean to be scary.
Well, no, we have 30 seconds. I'm sorry.
But the fact is, the gospel at its heart is joy, because what we know is life comes from the struggle. Good news is ours if we stay together in community. That gives me joy.
You're an amazing person, Sister Simone Cowell. It's great to see you again.
Good to see you, Jim.